welcome to Friday's Inspiration. And I'm so glad to have all of you here. It is 8 in the evening here in Rome. And we had a very successful mission here. I can't talk about it, but just trust that it was amazing and the ripple effect will be felt around the world. So it's been exciting. So great to have all of you here. Every week we come here to elevate our frequency, to find out some new information, some updated knowledge, and mostly it's to be able to hold a higher light frequency while staying in our bodies. So that's what we're doing here. And I am your host. I've been in the healing arts for more than 40 years. And so today we are going to be talking about a fairly new subject for me, all about dragons and how to access our ultimate power through dragons. So, hi everyone out there. How many of you believe you have a dragon, or maybe you'd like to access a dragon? I'll share a little experience that's new for me, that I've been introduced to dragons. So after Egypt, which was also a very successful mission, um, I was given 5 keys, and these unlocked various things while we were in Egypt that related mostly to the masculine and feminine energies, the divine masculine, and being able to have permission to access all of these. And so, since Egypt, there was an introduction around dragons for me about a week before we came here to Rome. And it's kind of interesting how things work, where little pieces will fall into play. You'll hear something, a conversation from someone over here, and they have just one little piece of intel, one little piece of information that then activates something in you, triggers something in you. You start to link the dots and connect pieces and threads, etc. And so the idea of dragons came up, and I noticed that I was working apparently with 3 dragons. There was one that was white, one that was gold, and one that was black. And after the first couple of days, I started feeling like the black one. Although I've been using the black flame, for those of you who've been following along for a while, know that I've been using this black flame very successfully with all kinds of clearings for dark entities and spells and curses. So I thought, oh, black dragon, okay. But then after a couple of days, it just didn't seem to be sitting right. It didn't seem to set well. So I started checking, asking, and inwardly, and realized that this dragon was not aligned with me. I did clear it. I got a confirmation that it was cleared. And so that was a good thing that it got cleared before I came here to Rome. So it feels like these dragons. Now, the dragons, there's a lot of information about dragons. There's many different kinds of dragons. There's different colors of dragons. There's small little fairy dragons. There's massive giant dragons. There's fire-breathing dragons. There's dragons with no wings. They don't even fly. There's so many different kinds of dragons, as I'm discovering. So what I want to talk about today, though, are dragons that are getting activated in many of us who are elevating in our frequencies, and we're starting to access this part of us that I'm discovering. Mine have been with, well, this one has been with me for 5 different lifetimes. So these dragons go way back, and it feels like these ones are, well, even today, I've got more intel and information on mine. I got the name of one of them. So the one that's attached to the back of my heart is my bond dragon. So I've bonded to this dragon at my heart, and it has followed me through 5 different lifetimes. And she has a name that I just discovered today is Shira, or Shira. Uh, and she's very, this is a very protective dragon, and it is also related, since it's at the back of my heart, it's, it's starting to feed me information about the heart and more connecting to the heart, more opening of the heart. So uh, there's more that's just being revealed because this is all fairly new to me. And it feels very protective. And then I have this other dragon that is a white dragon that is at my crown. And this one is a guardian dragon. So right at the crown, they're guarding my sovereignty. Feels like a really perfect place to have a good guardian dragon. So these are kind of how my dragons are operating. And as I've been talking to various people at this, that we've met here to do this work, this mission work, it wasn't related to dragons, but these came up in conversation, and also because I was going to be talking about it. So it seems as though these dragons, um, it's not like we can necessarily call them in, although we can prepare so that we are more accessible, so that we can connect with them when we are ready. So, because I personally have been doing a lot of my own personal work, and I've been, we've been doing a lot of the work together of raising the light quotient. We did a whole 16-day program with elevating those light frequencies, measuring the millivolts, etc. And so this, each of these things that's coming through that Spirit is guiding us to do is bringing us into more and more of the light, bringing us into these higher frequencies and elevations. And so the more that we're doing this work, the more these dragons are going to be available. So I've also learned that they are operating from about the 12th dimension on up. So mine either operate or come from the 15th dimension. So as we're elevating and we're accessing these higher dimensions, this is where it's going to be easier to find these dragons, where they might start connecting with you. And so one of the things that Michael, Thomas, who channels Michael Harris, I think that's what it is. He was saying that. I just had a little brain fart there. We were talking about dragons. That it's been a really long day, and I have barely eaten, so my brain is not quite functioning. But he was talking about dragons, and yes, that they will eventually become literally visible. Right now, we're working with them in the more etheric realms, and but they will eventually become visible, just like the extraterrestrials. Right now, extraterrestrials are not making themselves visible because they will just be killed and shot out of the sky and so forth. So it's the same thing with dragons. They're not showing up, even though many of these are benevolent and here to help us and guard us. They're not showing up yet because we're not ready. We're not ready to access this level of power, this level of, it's not normal, or it's not every day you're going to see a dragon, right? So it's a new thing, and we've been programmed to think of dragons as dangerous and evil, and that they're just here to harm us. And I don't know much about the games. There's a lot of games that have to do with like Dungeons and Dragons. These internet games, I don't know much about them, but I have a sense that they're programming a lot of information that is misinformation about the true identity of dragons and how they work and how they operate. But at the same time, it's also making us more aware of their consciousness. So, more to be revealed. So, let's see what you guys have to say about dragons. Okay, Roberta, Bobby, has three dragons. Well, tell us more. Do they have colors? Do they have names? Um, where are they? I have a beautiful dragon, Brandy. Great. I'd like to know more about your dragons, guys, because this is all new to me. Do they look like in enemies? I don't know. Um, Lynn has several dragons as well. And let's see, who else has some dragons? Anybody else have dragons? Lynn loves dragons. They have colors. And for me, the blues travel in threes. All right. Excellent. Bobby has one in the heart and one at the throat and one at the crown. Okay, great. So, this all of this information about dragons, just like so much of this information, is going to be coming in in bits and pieces and more information and knowledge as we start to access more of these dragons. And mine feel very protective and like they're helping me to step into a whole nother level of power as we are discovering so much of what we don't know, right? There's so much we don't know. And we're going to need more levels of power. And, I know that even Ishmael Perez, the author of Our Cosmic Origins, even he talks about how we're starting to access more of our superpowers. And so this is all part of this whole magical realm we used to be in, but we have descended. And so now that we're ascending, we're starting to access these realms that we haven't been in a while. Some of it is very familiar to many of us and feels very comfortable and exciting. And yay, we're getting back in touch with our dragons, which is exciting. Okay. So Bobby's is very protective and guiding, and Dawn has four. Excellent. But I don't know where they are. We'll continue to examine. Okay, yes. So, this comes in like bits and pieces, and we get more intel as we ask our dragons questions. We start to interact with them. Maybe we meditate with them, and we start to feel into how they're here to help serve us and humanity. And so it's kind of an exciting realm and dimension as we continue to elevate. But a couple things that I wanted to do today was I wanted to look at if there was what things needed to be cleared, if any. I did ask if there were any dark dragons that wanted to be released. I got a no initially. So let me just double check on that. Yeah, so I'm still getting a no, that there's no dark dragons. So apparently all of your dragons are benevolent, helpful, helping you to guide and protect you and helping you to step into your power. So let's run through our energy. We're going to do a process of running our energy with the intention of clearing anything that's preventing us from having a clear, grounded connection with these dragons. Since many of you already have dragons, you have them, but maybe you don't have a clear communication with them. You're not getting clear information yet, and some of this information is just not ready to be revealed yet. So that's another thing. Sometimes the timeline is not quite ready for this information to come out. But before we do that, I want to see if there's any other questions or comments. Welcome, Cindy, at the airport. So you're glad you hopped on. wearing a Hydra talisman, different they are from guides. Okay, so that's, yeah. So today we're talking about dragons, which is maybe different. Um, how are they different from guides? They have different qualities. It's just a different kind of guide. So as all of us are beginning to get even more information about that, those kind of questions are going to get clearer about how they are different than our other guides. Now, while I was here at this event, uh, Thomas, who channels Michael Harris, he gave me some valuable information about guides that I'm working with, 7 guides, one in each chakra. And so all of them have very different qualities. The one in my crown is one that he says, has followed me through every lifetime, is a Tao philosopher. I also have an Atlantean priestess. I have an Amazon warrior. I have an Inuit, I don't know Inuit what it was, but it was like an Eskimo. He didn't say define it beyond that, but I also have an Irish, very wise woman. So all of these, they all have different qualities, and the same thing would be the case for dragons. They're all going to be different. So because there's lots of different kinds of dragons. So to be revealed. I'm not clear regarding my dragons yet. So that's not surprising, Inga Maria. I think a lot of us are still finding out about that. Why do we need to connect with them? Well, just like any of our guides, if something is going to be guiding us, we want to be able to hear their clear communication. What are they telling us? How are they guiding us? What are they protecting us from? Or, can we count on them when we need protection? So there's, just like anything that's guiding us, it's good to get clear communication. And so some of us have dragons and some of us don't. So maybe you don't need to connect to a dragon if you don't have one. So that's not to say one is right or wrong, but we are talking about connecting with our dragons, because it feels exciting, doesn't it? I mean, I get excited when I think about dragons and like, so let's go ahead and run our energy, and we're going to do it with this intention of clearing things that are in the way of us having a clearer connection with our dragons, maybe even for you to discover if you have any. So that might be some valuable information. I have not received a name or more information yet. She is iridescent, iridescent gold, red, silver, and purple. Wow, that's beautiful. She is empowering and protective. I just felt her in my heart as I speak of her. Well, there you go. That's awesome. And Dawn says, I just got that they're portals to different qualities of our higher consciousness. Indeed, I would not disagree with that at all. In fact, any of our guides are the same as well. They're helping us access all of these different aspects of ourselves. So thanks for sharing that, Dawn. So let's go ahead and run our energy, and we'll get clear and make sure our field is clear. We're in a higher frequency, and then maybe you'll have some new information about your dragons. So let's go ahead and get ultra grounded. We're going to put down that line of energy, that really good solid grounding cord from the base of our spine all the way to the center of the planet. Great. And then next we are going to make sure that our feet are deeply connected to the root system. So we're going to send roots down from the bottoms of our feet deep into the earth, and let that intermingle with the root system, the fungus, the mycelium, and that intelligent communication that wraps around the entire planet. And so from there, we're going to start bringing this frequency of abundance and the frequency of the feminine up through the legs. So start bringing that information, that knowledge up through the ankles. You can start having some more fun. Up through the calves as it clears that excess adrenaline out of your calves. Up through the knees and the thigh where you access more of your power, your personal power. Great. So now the leg channels are both clear and running. Let's see if you have a worry circle. So the worry circle today is out to the third layer. So that's that fear of stepping into your power. And so that's a big part of what these dragons are doing, I believe, is they're helping us to feel more safe, more confident, and this will help us to step into a next level of our power, even if that is just another aspect of our higher consciousness. So let's pull in the worry circle. Excuse me. And so out to, in that third layer, there are some control beings here. So let's use a black flame. And we're just going to transmute these energies that have been preventing us from accessing these higher dimensions where the dragons live. Okay, great. So now there's no worry circle. Let's check and see that our hearts are grounded. So hearts are nice and open, 100% open. And today they are grounded. Our hearts are grounded. Excellent. That's great to hear. Next, let's do the final part of getting ultra grounded. We're going to connect with our ovaries if we're a woman. And we're going to draw a line from both ovaries down into the grounding cord. If you're a man, you're going to draw 2 lines of energy from your prostate and testicles into the grounding cord so that all of that gets grounded. Okay, good. So now we're ultra grounded. Let's start connecting with pure source energy far above our crowns, far above our rings. We're going to start bringing pure source down through our creative rings that are stacked above our head, where our intentions, maybe one of the intentions you're going to plant in your rings is having a clearer communication with your dragons, or maybe knowledge and information if you even have a dragon, or 2 or 3. All right, so as we're bringing pure source down through these rings, so it comes down about, say, a quarter of the way, and then it stops. So there's some interference there. It's the Draco energy, so let's use a black flame, as that is just about a quarter of the way down into your creative rings. Excellent. Kuya amai tiana pokuya, amaye tiana ta ake amapuye. Okay, so as we're bringing pure source down through these creative rings into the crown, where it's stopping, out to the third layer. So this is our sovereignty. We want to be able to have permission to access these dragons if we are indeed ready. And so out to the third layer, there's more of that. There's a control being. Let's use a black flame. And some Draco energy. So let's use a black flame for that. So the Draco, if you've been following along, is the darkest, most oppressive energy on the planet. It's kind of controlling all other darker energies below it. And it kind of hangs out at the 100th layer of our aura, where it doesn't think we'd ever notice it way out there. Okay, great. So as we're bringing pure source down through the crown And now we're going to bring it down through the central core, through the 6, 5, 4. So right at the heart, we're going to let this pure source energy stir at our hearts. Maybe this is activating some of your dragons that are connected to your heart chakra. Okay, great. So up to the third layer, this feels like a really old energy where there's a lot of judgments here for there's a lot of judgments for it's like when you were a little kid and you used to play with all those imaginary friends, and maybe some of them were dragons. And then your parents made you wrong, and you're making this stuff up, and it's just your imagination. It's not really real. So let's just move all of those judgments out of your heart so you can tap into the truth of what you know to be true. There we go. Okay, good. So as we're coming down through the heart into the solar plexus and the second chakra, spilling down the root, there we go. Let's mix these two energies in the root chakra, that earth energy coming up through the legs, pure source coming down the backside. We're going to bring that 50-50 mixture up the front. Up the front. So as it's trying to leave the root, okay, it's getting stuck in that second chakra. There's some anger here that's not yours. It's a control being. So use a black flame. These hadn't shown up for a while, but they're here today. Okay, so coming up through that second chakra. And we want to make sure that we keep our second chakra clear of anger, because it's an important chakra that creates. It's our energy transformer. So it converts energy into physical things. So if the energy that's in your second chakra is angry energy, well, that's what you're going to be creating. So important to keep the anger out of the second chakra. Whew, okay, good. So we're bringing this 50-50 mixture up through the second, into the solar plexus, into the heart, throat, 6 crown rings, through all the layers of your aura. And okay, so through all the layers of your aura. It's clear all the way out to the 50th layer. So let's start at the bottom. This is the Watchers, and we'll use a rainbow flame here. And just lifting that energy up and out, sending it off planet. Ooh. And then the 100th layer, we can use a black flame in this layer. This is that Draco energy. Lifting that up and out. And then the rest of our aura is clear now. So circle of reciprocity, there's 2 parts to this now. So we're going to start at the heart as we self-generate this love that we create in our hearts. And that's good. As we're bringing this self-generated love out that right shoulder, out the right arm, and we put the fingertips together so we can actually allow this energy to flow into our left receiving hand. And let's see where you are with that. It's coming up to just past the wrist, so right about here, and then it stops. So this is why it's in 2 parts, because some of you are still learning how to receive. And so a really important part that we fill ourselves up. so that we are not running on empty, so that we are replenished, nourished, and not walking around feeling all needy. And yeah, it's hard to come from a place of overflow when we're not full. So let's bring this energy up through the shoulder so it's still coming up that left arm, left shoulder. So right at the left shoulder, there's a little blockage there. Let's see what this is. Another control being. I'm surprised there's so many today. Let's use a black flame. Okay, good. As it's coming down through the front and back of the heart. There we go. So the circle is now complete through the front and back of the heart, throat. Let it stir in the throat there so you can ask for what you need. Maybe you need a hug. Okay, good. So through the throat, through the sixth, through the crown, through the rings. Okay, so that's great. So once this circle is flowing and you're giving to yourself and you're filling yourself up, now we've been instructed to do a part two. So we're going to bring that heart energy out both arms. So this is what it makes me think of the wings of that dragon, because it feels like the wings are coming out of my like shoulder blades, like they're attached to the back of my shoulder blades. And so when we bring this heart energy out both arms, it feels like it's activating that dragon energy as we bring this self-generated love and we direct it out into the world, and we're directing it to people that need some love and support. And oh, who doesn't need more of that, right? So we're sending it out maybe to someone specific. Maybe it could be to a whole country or a whole tragic event that happened, or whatever it is. We send it to that specific thing. But then we allow the love to come back through both arms, like a big hug. We hug with both arms. And so that really allows all that energy to come into our hearts and circulate. And then it moves up through and around our whole toroidal field. Tube torus, it's like cutting an apple in half, that energy that goes up and around 360 degrees around. All right, so that's running our energy. So we just ran our energy, and it feels like there's some other pieces here. Let's see, we have some additional comments. Heather, dragons was slayed in this dimension due to their powerful healing and teaching abilities to help raise the vibes. Many benevolent dragons have chosen to incarnate as human starseeds. That's an interesting thought. So that's also a new thought I haven't heard. And great. Lots of different ideas and concepts. So that's great. Thanks for joining us, Jalpa. Good to have you here. So it feels like there's some other pieces here with this dragon, though. Hang on just a second. Okay, so if we were to create an avatar, I've found that many butterflies actually are dragons. Yes, I just read about today about very small dragons that are very, very small. They're fairy dragons. I had burbs to let it out. I don't know what that means. Low energy the last 2 days. Well, I'm glad you're here, Reiki, so that you can get a little upgrade. And hopefully you've been practicing every day, running your energy, going through all of those recordings to keep in practice. So the thought that came in mind was to create an avatar for our relationship with our dragons. Like last week, we did a wee space for our relationship with our money. And so today, I'm being called to look like, let's do one for our relationship with our dragons. And this wee space for your dragons could be dragons that you already are connected with, and maybe you want to have better communication with them. And it could also be a space to create so that it feels safe to connect with a dragon. Like maybe it's an incoming connection with a dragon. So we're going to put up an avatar, and you put in the rings how you want this avatar to be. Like what kind of relationship um, do you want? I know for myself, I really want to feel this strong connection and really good communication. And I really want to feel protected by these. And yeah, that it's got my sovereignty so that I feel really sovereign in my space. So these are your dragons. You decide how you want your relationship to be. Yes, the little fairy dragons. Those sound so adorable. Okay, so let's create this avatar, and we're going to, it doesn't have a grounding cord. There's no surprise about that, right? Because maybe for many of you, the thought of having a dragon seems really scary because of all of the programming. So let's ground the space. Yeah, okay, good. We're grounding our dragon avatar. Okay, good. Yeah, this was just a spontaneous idea. I had no idea I was going to do this dragon avatar. So I'm just listening, and spirit directs me and guides me. And so that's why I have dragons now. Okay, so now it's grounded. Let's see if the earth energy is coming up through the legs. It is. Let's see if there's a worry circle. Yes, there is. It feels really charged. Second layer. Okay, so there is a lot of fear here. It's not terror, so it's not that bad of fear, but it is fear. So let's clear this fear with a black flame. So it's the Draco energy that wants us to be afraid of these dragons because they know how powerful they are. It's like, oh, good grief, these humans, they're getting in touch with their dragons. Oh. Okay, so let's use that black flame there. Oya makia na tia na papaye no muye kua aye naya kakapa puye na ti iye a maka oya na tia kake a meya tupuye a. Whew. Okay, let's see if we have a worry circle now. No. Okay, let's ground the hearts. The hearts are grounded. That's really cool. The hearts of this dragon space are grounded. Ovaries are grounded. Prostate and testicles grounded of this space. Next, let's bring pure source down through your intentions, through your creative rings, so that your intentions will be in your highest and best interests. Okay, so as we come down about a third of the way down, there's some interference there. More of that Draco energy. Use a black flame. Kuya amae natupuyo kukua ama aye natia natiti kwa ape anata. Okay, so bringing pure source down through the creative rings, all the way down through into the crown. 6, 5, 4. Let's clear this energy at the heart so that you can have a really good heart connection in this space with your avatars, with your dragons in the heart. Mhm. Yeah. So out to the third layer. So there's a lot of judgment. So there's a lot of judgments about dragons. And, are they real? It's just stuff you're making it up. That's a myth. That's mythology, ancient made up stuff. And so, if people are judging you because they're more than that to you, they are real, like you actually work with them, you feel protected by them, you feel empowered by them. These are not just a mythology thing for many of us, right? So let's just drop all the judgments that got put on us, or put on anyone who might be entertaining that dragons are more than just a mythology thing. Okay, good. Clearing that heart. I don't know about your dragons, but mine, they feel very kind of fierce and powerful, but with these huge hearts, like so loving and so like they want to protect us because they have so much love. Like, I don't know, it just feels interesting. It feels big. Big love. Big dragon love. Okay, good. So, as we're coming down, we're bringing this energy down through the heart. Okay, there's still more energy there. Um, hmm. So this is the connection. So it's saying that this is what's being cleared now is the connection from our hearts to this space. So as we're clearing this space, we're clearing the hearts anyway. But it's more like our connection to our dragon, our heart connection to our dragon is being cleared in this space. And what else here? Okay, there's also some rage in here. There's some anger and rage. It's anger and rage about dragons, not necessarily with your particular dragon. It feels like more cultural programming about dragons. So more of those judgments coming off of this space so that you can have more permission to be in this space and that it's okay to have a dragon. It seems almost comical. Okay, good. So we're coming down through the heart. There we go. Solar plexus, second chakra spilling down the root. So now we're vertical with this dragon avatar. Let's bring 50-50 mixture up the front through the second and third. Let that energy stir at the solar plexus so that this power, there's easier access. We can have access to our ultimate power. That was the whole name of this podcast today. Whew. Okay, good. So clearing all of this interference with our true power, our ultimate power. Okay. It felt like, yeah, there is still more at the solar plexus. Use a black flame. There's some Draco energy there that doesn't want our dragons to have their power back. They don't want that. Whew. Okay, good. So as we're bringing this 50-50 mixture up through the solar plexus and the heart, let it stir in the heart out to that third layer. So more judgments about this whole space, whether it's real or not. If it's real to us, that's all that matters. It doesn't really matter what other people think about us and our dragons, right? I just had a thought in my head. I don't need to verbalize it. Okay. Okay, good. So as we're bringing this 50-50 mixture up through the heart, throat, 6 crown rings, aura. Great. The whole aura is clear. That's really nice. And then let's do the circle of reciprocity for this dragon avatar space. Out the right arm, in the left. Okay, that looks really good. And then let's do both arms, bringing that heart energy out, both arms, like those wings. Those dragon wings are just like hugging the whole avatar space. Okay. And then, so we send that love out into the world, maybe to our dragon, but we allow the love to come back into both arms and it fills our heart, circulates through our whole toroidal field. I bet many of you can see your dragons more clearly now. I would venture to say. I always wondered if they were real. They are real. We just can't see them literally yet. Although some of you can. Some of you, I don't mean like literal, like, that bottle over there on the counter. Not like that literal, but eventually they will be, just like the extraterrestrials. So, and it will probably be sooner than we think. I heard someone say within the next 10 years. I don't know. I'm not a forecaster, but if I were to venture on this timeline, I'm actually getting 15 years. So maybe that is kind of accurate, 10 years. So I don't know, 10 to 15 years. In the bigger stream of things, that's not that far away. That's really not that far away. So in the meantime, our dragons are contacting us. They're getting familiar with us, and we're getting more in touch with how they operate, how we can rely and depend on them, and how they can support us and humanity. And so that's exciting. That's fun. Okay. Any other questions? Where are they? They're in the ethers. They're in our imagination, and they operate in the 12th dimension and up. 12. Mine are in the 15th dimension, so it might be different for all of you. So, at any rate, it's so good to have all of you here. I will be in Rome, probably, or not Rome. I will be in Europe until mid-March, I do believe. So I'm working from here tomorrow. I'll be headed to Paris for a week and then to Amsterdam for a week. So we're going to be doing our 18-day program from those two places. So on Monday, I look forward to getting back together with all of us in class again and connecting with our abundance and our businesses and activating all of that good stuff. So good to have all of you guys here. And we will be seeing you next week. So we don't have any idea what we're talking about next week yet. But yeah, so I'm still working. So if those of you who are interested in getting your vibrational altitude report, so you can find out where you are on the vibrational spectrum, and you can go ahead and get a vibrational altitude report. So I'm still doing those, still working with clients, etc. So yes, Don, what do you say? Thank you. You're absolutely welcome. Here's a question. Are the watchers the same as hindering spirits? Not necessarily, because hindering spirits could be discarnate beings. They're all a little bit different, but the effect can be definitely the same. So the watchers hang out in the 50th layer. So that's the more specifics of that. And to Inuit medicine woman, yes. Thank you so much for being with us today from Rome. You're so welcome. Yes, so thank you all for sharing here. I love that you guys come here every week. It makes this all the more fun. And we all get to do our part in elevating our frequencies so that we can send this ripple out into the world, out into our families and our communities. And we're all doing our part to create a better future and stepping into that golden age. So thank you so much for coming here every week. I love that. And we will see you here next week, same time, same place, like we are every week. And Selma, what is this? I get a headache and get sleepy every time we run the energy here. Well, you're moving energies, you're moving stuff, that's for sure. And that tired energy is putting you back in your body where you realize how much you've been pushing, burning the candle at both ends. But thanks for coming. And we always love that you guys are here. So we'll see you all next week. And thank you for all your well wishes for safe travels. And until we meet again, keep asking my favorite question. How? How does it get any better than this? And then stay in that blissful question of, I wonder. Let the universe show you how it gets better. All right, sending so much love. Namaste.